There's nobody
Okay, we're back.
there being pressured.
Okay. This plate was bent out quite a bit here. This whole thing was curved, so it wasn't sitting flat. So we went ahead and held this corner here and pushed on this corner here, like this, bent it in, and now the cover sits, now this thing sits flat like it's supposed to. It's not bound up. If you got something in a binding condition, it's gonna break over time. Now these holes now are getting closer. I mean, they're still bent just a little bit low, about 10 degrees from your angle, out maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the cover here, and the cover appears to have an angle too on the bolts. The other angle, they're splayed outwards a little bit. So it looks like they're supposed to be that way for some reason. You think they would make it flat, but, or it's been bent already, I don't know. Okay, so this is where we're gonna put our ground wire. And we didn't have a star though, we lost that star. Okay, that star didn't fit. So.
Yeah, it didn't fit.
Okay.
We can handle that tomorrow.
Well, it doesn't really matter because we're not grounding to anything.
Right.
Doesn't matter, we're pushing. So it doesn't make any difference. Okay, so we know we're going to make one wire from here to here. So I would say let's get
Black, right?
let's get one wire made, get a black one, and let's get this hooked up correctly. I only got 2 wires going to my positive, the main battery cable for the starter motor, and then the one that powers the ignition circuit, which is going to be powering the circuit breaker now over here. This one here, which goes up the ignition switch, is going to come right off of this terminal down here. It has to go through the breaker. That way this is protected from here up to there. If you hook it directly to the battery, there's no protection on this wire going that way. Now that way I assume it's going to the switch right here. So we're actually going to be upgrading it by going down to here. We will have to cut this terminal off and go to a smaller one to do that. And we probably need to pull this breaker out and make sure to see what size it is. Do they have breakers over there at all, do you know, or not? Probably not. Okay. If you're going to power the whole bike with one breaker, 30 is quite a bit, but a 20 works pretty good.
Okay.
Usually what I do when I eliminate all these breakers, I just put 120 amp for the whole bike. And I just run 120 to my ignition switch and everything's protected from there on.
Okay.
But stock is your 15s and there's 130. So we need to pop this one out and see what size it is. Just got to loosen this nut up to get this wire out of here.
Okay.
And then we'll see what's underneath, see what this is. If it's a 15, then we probably need to upgrade that to a 20 at some point. 15 is enough to run the whole bike, but it's not a lot of cushion in there.
They still make these old things?
Yeah, still make breakers. And that's good. Okay, so now all of these other wires here, we're going to shorten these up a little bit, maybe, or at least clean them up.
Yeah, we got ends for them.
All of these are going to go up to from a 1/4 inch down to a number 10. And every one of these is small except for this one big one here, which is probably it's at least a 14. It's probably a 14 with a lot of insulation on it. And we're going to clean this mess up. And the ground wire, did we get 14 ground wire on the, from over there? We only got 16. What wire we got? Where'd that wire go we got?
Right here, I got it right here.
It's probably only 16, I bet.
Yeah. We didn't buy anything, it was 14.
Okay. So you gotta look at the load being applied to everything. So this is all light duty stuff here, so I don't think there's any amperage really going to it.
Right, you can see how small these.
So a 16 gauge wire is probably plenty adequate. Because there's nothing here of any size to it. Probably an 18 gauge, you know, so I think 16 is okay.
Okay.
If we had any more load than that was unknown, we could definitely run a 14 across. But I think in this case it doesn't matter, with 14 it's fine. We do have a 14 right now, an 18.
This is 14, yeah.
Okay, so we'll make a wire with that and just hook it up into our battery. It should be golden.
What's the thing we need here?
Okay, why don't we, let's leave that to the last because we got so much crap in the way here we can't even get to
Clean
it.
this up, okay.
Let's start cleaning up this mess that we have here in our way. Because we do have a mess still here. So this stuff here is staying the way it is. I think we need to get to tackle the circuit breaker first. So let's go ahead and get that handled. We need to see what our power rating here is going to be. Loosen this one up. Get this wire up out of the way as much as we can. At least it's loose. These are loose, but they're kind of in the way. Okay, this one here, we're going to be... They make these with long post, not just short post.
Yeah.
See, we're running out of room here.
Yeah.
We only really got room for one more wire on here, but I think we got a lot more than one. So I would check with the, see if they got some longer ones of these. If nothing else, they got to break.
Where would we buy something like this?
Where we're getting all that hardware from. They have electrical there. See if they got a breaker. If not, go to an auto parts store.
Okay.
They should still have breakers for cars.
Okay.
But if they get one that has a long post on it, see these short post ones are oddball. Most of them have like 3/4 long posts. These are like 3/8.
Okay.
Okay, so these go back on there. Just disconnect them so we got access to this into here. Get that in there and open. These are good ones, short stuff. It's good stuff. It's 30, isn't it?
Yes, sir. 30 amp. 12
Okay.
volt, 30
It
amps.
says right on here it's 30 amp. So that's the good one. Back in there, it's just spring holder.
Forgive my ignorance. Which side is protected side? So how does this work exactly?
This is going to hook to our battery direct.
Okay.
See, this is our battery. So it goes
Alright.
right over your battery. And you're only supposed to go one direction. I'm assuming that the copper is the one that's input because that's how they had it wired originally. Otherwise, I have to go look it up to see. It's best to do it the correct direction, but it works either way. These ones over here, the silver posts, these are your outputs, so these are protected with 30 amps of protection.
So if it were to spike over 30 or something?
So there's a bimetal spring in there. When the spring gets hot, it opens up the circuit. When the spring cools off, it
Clicks back
reconnects the
together.
circuit. So it's a self-setting again. And it usually takes about a minute for that to happen.
I can hear it audible when it.
You can tell, you can hear it pop back too. I think just over, like an over-centered spring. It's just bimetal, it's just heat.
Okay.
So everything we put on this post is going to be protected with 30 amps of load, which is a lot of load.
Okay.
So like it's best to be like 20 to power all this shit. The amount of stuff to go damage up here with 30 amps to go through, that's huge.
Okay.
Oh, fucking, there's nothing up here that'll stand 30 amps through it.
Okay.
Even your ignition module, 30 amps through that, it'd fucking kill it.
Okay.
But usually this stuff is on the alternator side, the 30 amp or
Okay.
I don't really like running, I don't want to run a breaker on my alternator, I want to go right to the battery, because the regulator wants to see a true number, not a fake number.
Okay.
Whenever you're going through a switching device, it's a fake number, it's not directly to the battery. It's not going to feed back correctly. So I think it's a waste of time having a 30 amp on a bike, I really don't see a reason for it. You know, if the alternator wire burns, let it burn. It's easier to make the bike by itself anyway, and it's going to be fried anyway. It usually comes with the alternator kit when you buy a new alternator. It's stupid to integrate with it. Okay, so we need is a wire from here to our battery, which we already have.
Already have, right?
It's here.
So it's there.
And so the next one we need to have this one up here. Needs to get back down underneath here and run to this post. So let's get all these grounds out of the way, we can deal with them later.
Okay.
And then we got, how many pods we got? Just one
So
more?
that's a positive.
So this
Right.
one has to go. I think it's the
That's
only
a
one we got.
negative.
Okay.
That's a negative.
Okay, let's get all this out of here, just pull it through, or tuck it away out of the way. This has to be tucked back out of the way. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I just want access to get this wire to where we need to be. Okay, so how are you running this through here? We're gonna reroute it a little bit, or?
Yeah, if we can, wanna come lower, we probably wanna come down through here.
Okay, what's keeping it from going down? Why don't you get up there and see what's hitting on it? It can go across the top of the wire, we just gotta get it back to here, so it's gotta go underneath this bracket, obviously, but.
This is just our zip tie, I think that's holding us from moving. A wedge, we go like this. Come in here, right? I wanna come through here.
Going on the backside,
That's what we need.
on the backside of the bracket, probably all those are. And we've got to pick it up. Grab it with this. I can pull it through if you grab a hold of it. Okay, look at stop. Let's see where you're at. Hold it, just, I can get this into it, I can
get it
pull it.
for you. I can get you there.
I can see the eyelet, I just gotta pull it through. Right here. Okay, that's good right there, enough power. Okay, what are we?
I've got a little more room if you want.
Okay, so we need to change the eyelet on that.
Okay.
Well, let's see, we need to get down to here. That's gonna be a problem, is getting to that. Okay, how much more do we have? Okay, I can make that work. I'll take this wire and move it up higher. But the problem is the cover. Yeah, make sure it clears the cover. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll get this in here. Okay, we need to cut this off and keep it as long as we can. So don't cut more than we have to off. So I'm gonna cut this as short as I can. So right there, it's as short as I can cut it. Wipe it down. Put a big piece of shrink tubing over it or something.
Strippers here.
I'm trying to pull the shrink off.
You want a razor blade?
What fingernails are for.
I don't have any.
This is definitely an alternator cable. Feels like it to me.
Yeah, because I remember you told me to run direct to it, so that's probably what that is. That's probably why I took it direct.
Well, it's the same thing being direct here, but we need to have. No, this is on the positive side. It should be going to. This should be going to the positive side of the battery, not to.
That's where I was going before, right?
That's not where it should be.
We had it over here, right? That's why I was going over there. I think that's probably what you told me, like, is straight from the battery.
What's this one?
That one's just running, bringing power over to that. Powers this stuff, right?
And how big a wire is this? Realistic, it's the same size wire. Look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just put on the upper stud. See, this is a real thick wire, but you look inside of it, there's nothing in it. It's dinky. This one here, it's a 16 gauge wire. It's probably not the same as what that is, I bet. This is alternator wire because it's a real soft, rubbery wire.
Yeah, you can feel it over here. It's the feel. Same
It's the
right
same
here.
thing.
Right here.
Where your strippers
It's
at.
the same. That's what it is.
So I'm going to put it to the upper post, not to the lower post,
Okay.
because it's going to go direct to the battery. The only thing I would like to do is probably stop down to Hot Rod Shop and get a piece of heavy duty wire.
Like that heavy duty shit, doesn't it?
It's the rubber doesn't pull.
You want a razor blade?
No, I want my strippers. Where's my yellow strippers? Right there. The old ones that still work on everything. Just want to take. I'd like to get a 14 gauge wire going from here to this post.
Okay.
I still don't want to run a bunch of wires to the battery post. I want to eliminate that.
Right.
That's definitely a 14 gauge. So I think it is.
Yep.
14 gauge.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to make a list of stuff we need to get tomorrow. So we need a couple of, we're gonna need 3 14 gauge eyelets for sure.
I have those here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we need to build a, we need a foot of a black wire to get from the battery. Or red wire, that's red wire. That should be red wire, it's hot. I don't think this is 14 gauge wire, I think it's thinner.
What size eyelet do you want on that 14 gauge?
These are 3/16 eyelets.
Which is a number what, 10?
10, number 10. 1/4 inch on the battery and 10 over here. So. And if you replace the alternator next time, you just take the wire off the, right off the breaker here and just run a new wire to it.
Okay.
And it comes with a black, an eyelet already, a blue eyelet. When it comes in the kit usually. It does not come with a 1/4 inch eyelet because stock they go to a breaker. Which is exactly what we're going to be doing, we're going to a breaker. But I'm going to go on the breaker input, not the output. I'm not going to go through the breaker.
Yeah, wind out there?
That's a lot of wind, yeah.
Blowing in.
That was a storm blowing in earlier. I can do very good weather report by just looking at the sky and see what's happening. And you know what, I'm usually 100% right when I'm looking at it too. Unlike the weathermen, can't figure out what the hell day it is. Okay, you got a post there? It doesn't matter if it's insulated or uninsulated, we put shrink over it, so. What you got, anything?
Is that? It's a 16, 14. Is that eyelet right, or is that too small?
Yeah, it's pretty small, but. It fits. Yeah, that's fine.
How many of those do you need?
That does not look big enough.
It says it's 14, 16 on it.
Yeah, well, it might say that, but it ain't going on that wire. Need a 10, 14, not a 14, 16. Need a yellow one, not a blue one. Or we gotta spread this out a little bit. Or I gotta cut a couple strands off, which I'd rather not do. I have done that in the past, but I don't wanna do it.
Here we go.
It's going on, it's going, I'm screwing it on there. Yeah, there's the big one. Yeah, that's
Is that the
1/4.
right eyelet?
Yeah, that's 1/4. I got it, it went on. It's tight, I'm screwing it on.
Alright.
But we have no insulation on this thing, so. Got a piece of
Is this-
shrink tubing?
Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah, that's the one you need. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But I was able to get this one on, it screwed onto it. Tight, it doesn't work. Okay, I need a piece of shrink tubing. We got one of that big
You want
stuff?
this or not? You want the big
No, I
one?
just use this one. We got a big piece of shrink?
Let's do that.
We have 6 inches of it
This
left.
is all we got left. This is a few little inches.
Well, we don't need much. We'll just go do the cover the outlet. I'm not trying to insulate the world, I just need a little piece. There's on. This I was able to get it to screw on. Without having any of the wires come out like I just did there. So now I'm screwed it. Pull them up a little bit. I got it once. Can we do it twice? No. Once was a fluke. It's a press fit. See, once you're frayed up a little bit,
Yeah.
you're fucked. You're done. See all this frayed up. You know, it's puckered. Can't do it no more. I'll have to use your other one. I was trying to keep the outlet as small as I could, but oh well. Give me that big one back. We got away with it once, not twice.
Is this the right eyelet? Make sure it's.
Yep, that's the one. Yep.
Okay.
And that could get a bit more. Where's mine at?
Yellow handles.
Where's that little one again? Put it back too quick. Try one more time.
Make sure it's right eyelet. Assuming you're over there.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think it'll work, but try it one more time. No. 3 or 4 pulling up. Hey, that big one fits right on there though. Oh, I need the crimpers. They're over there somewhere.
Red and black handles, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
red and black. This way. Big trunk. Okay. This one here. And we'll shrink on that. Not seeing much heat. This one's on fire here. There we go. Good. So this one's coming from the battery, which